Everybody has a short story that traumatized them, and today I'm going to be talking about Once Upon a Time by Nadine Gordimer, published in 1989. This story opens with an author being asked to write a children's story, even though she doesn't normally do that, so she turns the project down. She then goes on to talk about how she was woken up the previous night by a sound that she thought was an intruder, but she went on to learn that it's the sound of a mine that's 3,000 miles below her house. That being said, she still can't fall asleep, so she tells herself a bedtime story. This bedtime story that she tells herself follows a presumably white suburban family with a son that grow increasingly paranoid about riots happening in another part of town, and this part of town is where people of another color live, as the story puts it. These people of another color are only allowed in the suburb to work, but they are not allowed to live there. There are burglaries around the neighborhood as well, and the family turns their home into essentially a fortress. In the story, it's described as even looking like a concentration camp, which is terrible, but it has a wall, barbed wire, barred windows, an intercom, and an alarm. One night after reading Sleeping Beauty, the son is playing pretend and he climbs the wall, and he ends up getting caught in the barbed wire. He struggles against it, and that just makes him get caught even worse. And the maid and the gardener, I think, are the ones who initially find him, and the gardener, I believe, cuts his hands trying to get the boy out, but eventually the parents, the maid, and the gardener have to cut him out and carry him back into the house. And that's where it ends, and now I see why this author doesn't write children's stories. The context of the story makes a little bit more sense once you realize the author herself was born in South Africa and that she was an anti-apartheid activist. There are a lot of themes that are often discussed when analyzing the story, one of the main ones being wealth and equality. This family lives in a gated community that people of color can only enter to be servants. Another theme being how paranoia and fear of those different than you can lead to your own downfall. There are many more ways to analyze this story, but those are the ones I specifically remember when I discussed this story in school. It's a very short story, but it packs a lot of commentary in that I didn't cover in this video. I recommend looking it up yourself and reading some articles about it.